Good morning, everyone. So this is the faculty for financial reporting paper. A brief introduction about myself. I am CA Vishal Jain. I am a ACCA as well. And talking about my teaching experience, I have been teaching financial reporting, strategic business reporting, that is a P-level paper, and triple, that is a P-level paper, to students of ACCA and CA final, also financial reporting paper from last 6 years. And now coming to my work experience, and I have been associated with KPMG India as well as KPMG Dubai, and my experiences, and so I'm a practicing chartered accountant. Now, as a student, I was a global rank holder in multiple papers of ACCA. So that's all about myself. And if you want to further know about myself, then you can reach out to me on LinkedIn page. Also, I'll share my WhatsApp details and my Gmail details, so that if you have any personal queries related to financial reporting, definitely we can discuss on that. Further, one thing that I would like to tell you before the start of our live classes is I would like this session to be more of an interactive one, rather where we and us, basically us, are discussing about the topics. When I'm saying something, I might have a query and I'll discuss that with you. If you are not understanding something, you might have a query and you have to discuss that with me. Okay, so it's not that I'm giving a lecture and you have to just listen to it. No, we have to interact with each other. Okay, so you can write all your queries to me with in your chat box. Okay, and if I feel that that query has to be discussed over personally, so either I will tell you to unmute at the end of the class, or I can discuss you personally after the class. Okay, so that's the structure of the class that will be following up. Okay, now let's come to the first orientation of the financial reporting paper, in wherein we will just understand what is your paper. First we'll understand your paper. It is then we will move towards our syllabus. Okay, just I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. Please confirm it. Please confirm if you can see my screen. Sure. Great. Now, see, when we talk about the financial reporting paper, the syllabus has been divided into 5 parts basically. One is the conceptual and the regulatory framework. Now, what is the meaning of conceptual and regulatory framework? See, there are standards set for each and every transaction, which are known as international financial reporting standards, right? But there might be few cases, or there might be few transactions for which an accounting standard or IFRS is not prescribed, right? How we will do the accounting for that? So that has been defined in conceptual framework. Now then, what is regulatory framework? See, regulatory framework deals basically with the structure of how an IFRS is set, who governs the IFRS, who regulates the IFRS. Okay, so that's a regulatory framework, how an IFRS is set, basically how it is regulated. Okay, now conceptual is, if anything is not covered by international financial reporting standards, how will the accounting for that be done? That is conceptual framework. This thing we will be studying at the end. Why? Because see, once we have an understanding what the IFRS says, okay, it is then we can understand what if IFRS doesn't say anything about it. Okay, now once we know what is IFRS, then it will give us a better picture to understand how the IFRS is regulated. Okay, now part B is accounting for transactions in financial statements. FS means financial statements. Okay, just now part C is analysis and interpretation of financial statements. Now what is this one? See, part B, when you say accounting for transactions in financial statements, that deals with IFRS, that is international financial reporting standards. Okay, so we'll be discussing one by one each and every IFRS. Okay, subject to exception of few IFRS is not as part of your syllabus of financial reporting, which you will be studying as part of strategic business reporting. Okay, one of such transaction can be employee benefits. Okay, now Part C is analysis and interpretation of financial statements. Now see, we have to understand here, when we say analysis and interpretation of financial statements, this deals with ratio analysis. Okay, this deals with ratio analysis. Now this ratio analysis is not as simple as that you studied in F3, okay, financial accounting. No, it's not that simple. Therein you just need to calculate the ratio and you will get a mark for that. Here you need to calculate a ratio and also comment on that ratio, linking it to the scenario in the question. Okay, so that's why it is saying analysis and interpretation of financial statements, right? The financial statements will be given to you and you have to analyze the financial statements, right? The performance of the financial statements. It might be in comparison to any other financial statements. It might be in comparison to the same financial statements, but of the previous year, right? So it might be due to multiple factors that you have to assess and analyze and interpret a financial statement that we'll be discussing. Okay. Now, part D is preparation of financial statements. Part D is preparation of financial statements. Now, this preparation of financial statements, FS. Okay. Now it can be standalone financial statements, or it can be group financial statements. What is a standalone financial statements and what is a group financial statements? Can any one of you say me? Can anyone of you tell me what is a standalone financial statements and what is a group financial statements? Any one of you? Group is consolidated financial statements. Very good, Garima. Anyone else? What is standalone? Standalone is a single unit and consolidated is the company as a whole. Okay, financial statement of one branch. No, we cannot say branch. We cannot say branch. Okay, I'll just give you a brief about it. Okay, see, let's suppose what happens. There is a company called Tata. Okay, Tata Limited. Now it has multiple subsidiaries. Okay, subsidiaries. So one can be Tata Power, another can be Tata Steel, another can be you can say Titan, right? Multiple other subsidiaries are there. Okay, now this is a subsidiary. When the financial statements of Tata Steel is prepared, it is called standalone financial statements. Okay, or it is also called a separate financial statements. But when the financial statements of Tata as a whole is prepared, it is called group financial statements, right? Group financial statements as a whole means including Tata Power, Tata Steel, Titan, everything as a whole. It is consolidated financial statements, right? That's what the understanding that you guys told was correct, but it is not related to branch. Branch is something different. Okay, branch is something different. Okay. Now, Akshit, again, standalone is of a single business unit. We cannot say a single business unit. Single business unit can be different from a company. What we are trying to say, standalone is of a company. Okay. Now, group consolidated is of the group. Group might have multiple companies. In them. Okay. I hope I am making sense here. Every one of you are understanding this point. Okay. Though we will have a detailed discussion on this group financial statements, we will have to spend somewhere in the range of 5 to 6 classes. Okay. So for group financial statements, so don't worry about that. Yes, I was just giving you a brief understanding about it. Okay. Now, part E is employability and technology skills, which is not tested in the exam, but yes, a knowledge of this is required. Okay, because how to move or navigate between screens, all these are things. So what I'll do, I'll not take up part E separately, but what I'll do, I will explain you the emphasis or the importance of part E when I'm using ACCA practice platform. Okay, I'll explain it alongside. Okay, now when I say course structure, I will be dividing your course into 4 blocks. Okay, block 1, I will be taking up the part B of your syllabus, that is accounting for transactions in financial statements, wherein I'll discuss all the IFRS which are there in your syllabus. Okay, and it will take me somewhere in the range of 17 to 18 classes. Block 2, preparation of financial statements. Okay, it will take me somewhere in the range of 4 classes. Okay, now third block is analysis and interpretation of financial statements. Why I am taking up analysis and interpretation and third part, when in the syllabus it is coming as part C and part D is preparation of financial statements? See, my understanding is, first you should know the IFRS, then you should know how to prepare the financial statements. It is first you can prepare, then only you can analyze it, right? Before preparing you cannot analyze it, right? So first understand the accounting standards which will help you in preparation of the financial statements. Once you know the financial statements, it is then you can analyze the financial statements, and then we will understand the conceptual framework, that is the last class, that is the last chapter. Okay, so that's how we move in our syllabus. Okay, now coming to exam structure and paper pattern, how the exam will be structured and what is your paper pattern. See, the exam will be, the paper will be divided into 3 sections, that is section A, section B, and section C. Now section A will have 15 questions. Okay, you can write here 15 objective type questions, and each question will have 2 marks each. Each question will be of 2 marks each. That gives you a total of 30 marks. Now section B is also 15 objective type questions of 2 marks each, which will fetch you 30 marks. But there is a difference between them. What is the difference? See, in section B, what will happen? There will be 3 case studies. Okay. Now, each case study will have 5 questions, 5 objective type questions. Okay, and each of these 5 objective type questions will be linked to each other. Okay, now what does it mean then? Section A means 15 objective type questions which are not interlinked to each other, which are not linked to each other. Okay, now section B is 3 case studies which are which will have, each case study will have 5 objective type questions, and each of the 5 objective type questions will be linked to each other. Now what is the inference that we can draw from this? Okay, so there will be 3 sets, 3 case studies which will not be linked to each other. Okay, but the 5 objective type questions in each case study will be linked to each other. Now what next? Section A will also have objective type questions, section B will also have objective type questions, but the level of section B questions will be higher than that of section A questions, section A objective type questions. Okay, so that's what you have to understand for section B. Now coming to section C. Tell me, is this clear to everyone about section A and section B? Understanding is clear? Can I move to section C? Great. Now section C, 2 questions of 20 marks each. Now in this, what will happen? Question 1 and question 2. In question number 1, it will come from preparation of financial statements. Either it can be from standalone, or you can say separate financial statements, or it can be from group financial statements. Okay. Now question number two will be from analysis and interpretation of financial statements. Okay. Now analysis or interpretation can also come from separate financial statements or group financial statements. You have to understand the paper pattern as well here. Okay. If question number one is from preparation of separate financial statements, okay, then question number two will be from analysis of group financial statements. Okay. If question number one is from preparation of group financial statements, okay, then your question number two will be from analysis of separate financial statements. Okay. So that's what can be the paper pattern. Okay. Though nothing is specified about it, but yes, based on the past trends, this is what ACCA has followed. Okay. This is what ACCA has followed. I hope it is clear now so far. The exam structure and the paper pattern is clear to all of you now. Great. Now comes the time management, and which is very, very, very important for all of you. See, you have to understand that in financial reporting paper, which we are discussing now, okay, where students lack. Students lack generally in time management. What happens is initially they solve very slowly, and at the end they find just because what happens, section A and section B, they just spend 2 hours in section A and section B. Okay, so solving for 60 marks. Okay. Now when they are solving for section C, they are left with just mere 1 hour, and in 1 hour it's next to impossible to complete question number 1 and question number 2 both. Okay, it will be impossible. Now how to manage with this one? See, ideally, okay, you should complete question number 1 and question number 2 in how much time is 60 marks, right? 60 marks multiplied by 1.8 minutes per mark. Okay, so that gives you a total of 108 minutes, right? That comes to how much time? That comes to 1 hour and 48 minutes. Right now for question number, no, just a minute, not question number 1 and 2. I can write here section A and section B. Section A and B. Now section C is 40 marks, right? 40 multiplied by 1.2, that gives you 48 marks, 48 minutes, right? Sorry, 1.8, that gives you 72 minutes, right? That is somewhere in the range of 1 hour and 12 minutes. Now you have to understand here one thing. 72 minutes, just a minute. Now you have to understand here, see, solving section C that has 2 questions, okay, that is not objective, subjective questions in 1 hour 12 minutes will not be possible. What you have to do is you have to restrict it. You have to restrict this section A and section B. Try to complete within 1 hour and 20 minutes max to max, not more than that, and devote 1 hour and 40 minutes in this one. 1 hour and 40 minutes in section C. If you can follow this strategy, this pattern, you'll definitely never face issues in time management. Now, so what you can do is whenever you are practicing now, okay, whenever you are practicing before exams, just have this in your mindset. Just have this in your mindset. Though I will be re-emphasizing this again and again in our live classes, but yes, again, I'll tell you again, I'd like to tell you here that do not spend more than 1 hour and 20 minutes in section A and section B. Okay. Now, this is all about your time management. Now coming to success formula in financial reporting paper. How can you succeed in financial reporting paper? See, financial reporting paper is a paper wherein you can definitely score for a position, definitely target for a position, definitely is a target for a position. Okay. But how? First and foremost, what I will require from you is active participation in the class. If you participate actively in the class, I will be discussing questions. I will be taking up all the concepts. Okay. Basically, there will be few concepts which are not there in a material, but I will be discussing here, so that because your understanding should be from a holistic point of view, not only from an exam perspective. Okay. So I will make you exam ready. I will make you a corporate world ready, not only exam ready, a corporate world ready. Okay. Now, what you have to do is active participation. What is the meaning of active participation? The meaning is okay, be attentive in the class. First thing, be attentive in the class. Okay. Attend classes regularly. Do not skip live classes. Do not go for video. Attend live classes. Okay. Third, if you have any queries, discuss your queries with me. Discuss your queries with me. Okay. Plus, solve all your assignments. Whatever assignments I'm giving you, solve all your assignments. Okay. Solve all your assignments. This is what I will expect from you. If you can do this, okay, there are few tips which I'm giving you. If you can do that, definitely I can guarantee you that you will be in the position list. Okay. Now, first is active participation, which I will expect from you. Assignment I've already told you. BPP exam kit. Okay. As and when I will be completing one standard, I will tell you to solve the BPP kit of that. Okay. And in the very next class, I will be discussing the questions wherein you have faced challenges. Okay, all of you, wherein you have faced challenges. But for that, I will request you guys to please solve the questions which I will be giving to you on as assignment. Okay. Now, BPP exam kit. Now, ACCA past paper, ACCA past papers. You don't need to solve ACCA past papers as of now. I will tell you when is the correct time to solve ACCA past papers. Okay. So let me write here past papers. Okay. Starting from March, June 2018. Okay. Starting from March, June 2018 till September, December 2021. Okay. Now, examiner report. Okay. Past papers along with examiner's report. What is the meaning of examiner report? Just a minute. Let me write here. What is the meaning of examiner report? See, all of you are aware of the term examiner report, or do you want me to explain it? What is examiner report? Tell me, guys. Okay. See what happens when the examiner, when you solve the papers and give it to the for checking. Okay, the examiner finds few mistakes which the students have done. Okay, so student comments two things. Student comments two things. So examiner comments two things. A. Okay, what is the mistakes generally done by a weak student. Okay, and also it discusses how the strong student handled that situation. Okay, so this is what your examiner's report will tell you. Okay, in an exam paper, what are the mistakes in the exam, what are the mistakes in the paper which was done by the weak student, and how the strong student handle that. So what you have to do? So this you have to highlight both. What are the mistakes by a weak student? How the strong student handled it, and you have to write here, do not repeat. Do not repeat. Okay. And here you have to write here, must do. Must do. So this is how you have to handle a examiner report. Tell me, is it clear or not? The examiner report is clear to you or not now? Okay, though I will be discussing multiple examiner report with you guys, so you should not be worried about that. Okay, but yes, you have to read on your own also. Now, technical articles. What are technical articles? See, this technical articles are the articles written by the examining team. Okay, the persons who will be setting up your question paper, or the persons who will be evaluating your papers. Okay, your answer sheets. So they are the persons who are writing these technical articles, and they believe that these technical articles must be read by the students. Okay, for them to excel in the exam. Okay, and there are many times questions come directly from these technical articles, or there are examples given in the examiner report, and those examples directly come in the exam. Okay, without even changing the numbers. Okay, they come directly in the exam. So you will have an upper edge if you read technical articles and examiner's report. Okay, now class structure. See, in the class we will be discussing 5 things. First, we'll take up the contents. Contents means for a particular IFRS, what all are the things that you have to study. First, we'll list out that one. Okay, and then we will understand each and everything in detail. Then we'll just see what are the technical articles that is there. If there is a technical article, we'll refer the technical article, and we'll summarize the technical article in the class. But even if I have read the technical article in the class, it will be your duty to go after the class, open each and every technical article and read it at your own pace. Read it at your own pace. You have to read it. Okay. Now, questions. I will be solving few questions in the class, and I will be giving you few questions as assignments. Okay, and for your assignment part, you have to solve it. Okay, for you to excel in the exam. If you're not solving it, if you're not doing any other things which I'm telling the class, then it is you who will be at a loss, and I really don't want you to be at a loss, because I will give my best, and I will also expect you to give your best. Okay, so if we both give our best, definitely something best will come out of it. Now, past papers, not as of now. Examiner's report, not as of now. I will come to these things. I will guide you how and when you have to start your past papers, how and when you have to go through an examiner report. Not now. Okay, now. So far what you have to do is these 3 things. That's all, nothing else. Now, study text. So I believe all of you have your BPP study text with you, right? Okay, if you're not having, you can contact VGLD, and please take the BPP study text with you. Okay, now multiple times students ask me, is it required to read the BPP study text? Yes, the workbook and the exam kit I'm talking about. You can say workbook. Okay, workbook plus practice kit. Okay, now, so many times students ask me that, do we need to refer the study text or the workbook? Do we need to? So see, I will say that I have covered more than what is required in the class. Okay, I will be covering more than what is required, but I will ask you that after the class, just have a plain reading of the BPP workbook. Just have a plain reading of the BPP workbook. Okay, so I will write here a plain reading of BPP workbook. Okay, second, solve all the questions of BPP practice kit. Okay, that's what you have to do. Now, class notes. See what there are 2 options available with you. Either you can take down the notes in your notebook as I'm writing here, or I will be sharing these notes with you guys. You can take just take a print of it And do not write anything in the while I'm writing the class, when I'm discussing in the class. So in the class you can just focus on listening to me, and after the class I will share these notes with you every day, and you can just take a print of it. Okay, if you want you can take down the notes alongside the class also, as you feel it is comfortable for you. Okay, the option is yours. Now, study format. Study format should be cumulative. So it should be cumulative study format. Now, when I say cumulative study format, it should be like if I'm talking studying class 1 today, then for class 2, when you will come for class 2, you will revise class 1. Okay, when you will come for class 3, you will revise class 1 and class 2. Okay, when you will come for class 4, you will revise class 1, 2, 3 and 4, 3 and till 3, right? So you have to study cumulative study format, right? So every class you come, you will revise the previous classes and then come. Now you will say that when you will reach 10th class or 15th class, so before coming to every class, do we need to revise all the 10 prior 10 class? No, I'm talking about a chapter, a specific chapter. Let's suppose a chapter is taking up around 4 classes. Okay, like let's suppose group accounting, it will take me 4 classes. Now after in the second class, you will revise first class and come. In the third class, you will revise first 2 classes and come. Okay, in the fourth class, you will revise first 3 classes and then come. Okay, now if after completion of group accounting, I move on to preparation of standalone financial statements, that will again take 4 classes. So in that, will you revise group accounting income? No, not required. Only the group accounting. I'm talking about a chapter, a specific chapter. Okay, I hope you understood the meaning of cumulative study format now. Okay, now I do have certain queries in the chat box. Let me take up those queries. So I have a query from Rajat. I am planning to go for September attempt. Right now, books are available up to June only. Can you suggest what should I do if there are any changes in September syllabus? What I can do, you don't purchase the book now if you are appearing for September attempt. Okay, don't purchase the book now. You can just okay. I will not suggest you to purchase the book now. Purchase the book only in September, when the book for September are available. Then only you should purchase the book, not now. Okay, Rajat. Subham, sir, we should now have to solve the question CB platform right now or afterwards. See, you can solve the question in CB platform only for section C, only for section C, not for section A and section B. Why? Because section A and section B are objective type questions, right? So it doesn't require to be solved in CB practice platform. It is required to be solved only section C. Now section C, I'm not covering now. Section C will be starting to cover only after around 15 classes, not now. Okay, so as of now, not required CB practice platform, not required. Okay, when it is required, I will definitely guide you. As of now, it is not required. Is it clear? So for now, you will provide enough notes to cover the whole concept. Yes, Rajat, I will provide you all the notes to cover the whole of the concept. Okay, so you should not worry about that. But yes, you might be needing the book. Okay, for solving the questions. So for that, you can contact me personally. I can share you the previous attempt book. Okay. So you can discuss personally with me on this. Okay, you can reach out to me personally on this, and definitely we can discuss on that. Okay, but yes, I will not recommend you to purchase a book now. Purchase it for September attempt itself. Now, I think you have understood everything from the class orientation and from about the subject. If any one of you have any queries pertaining to the syllabus or pertaining to the paper format or the paper, basically everything about financial reporting paper, you are free to ask. After that, we'll move on to our new topic. Okay, IFRS classes will take 7 classes. So how should we follow cumulative study in that case? See, Akshit, in the case of IFRS classes, what you have to do, there will be few IFRS which I will be finishing up in a day. There will be few IFRS which I will be finishing up in a 2 day, 2 classes. Okay. So for what you have to do, for this thing, you cannot follow cumulative study format. Okay. What you have to do is, let's suppose you are discussing today's class. I am covering around, I am planned to cover around 3 standards. Okay. After this class, in the next class, that is tomorrow, I might cover something different. Okay. But I will tell you at the end of today's class that whether you have to revise it or not. Okay. And which all classes you need to revise, that also I will mention specifically. Okay. So I will at the end of every class, I will mention you specifically that which all classes I will expect you to revise before the start or before the commencement of the next class. Okay. So will that work? Okay. Anyone else having any queries? Great. Let's start our main syllabus. We'll start from our block 1. Block 1 is accounting for transactions in financial statements. Okay. Let's come to lecture 1 of block 1. So as I told that my lecture will be divided into 3 parts. Okay. One will be the chapter overview. Second will be the concept building. Third will be the technical articles. I am not taking up the past papers and the examiner's report now, because it will solving now, it will not be we will not be able to solve it now, because it requires the understanding of the all the IFRS at a time. Okay. But we are studying one by one. Okay. So once I see after completion of 5 to 6 standards, I'll see if we can take up a question. Okay. After that, we can definitely discuss on that. Okay. But yes, our first priority should be from understanding of the concept building, and then we'll move on to technical article as well. Okay. Technical articles. Now, when we say concept building, okay, when we say concept building, so these are the concepts which are required to be understood. These are the concepts which are required to be understood in this chapter. So the chapter which we are discussing is tangible non-current assets. Tangible non-current assets. In this chapter, there are 3 standards. One is property, plant and equipment, which is covered by IAS 16, International Accounting Standards 16. Investment property, which is covered by IAS 40, and borrowing cost, which is covered by IAS International Accounting Standard number 23. Okay. Is the standard number required in the exam? No. But will you focus on standard number? Yes, you should. If you take my opinion, yes, you should focus on standard number. In the exam, it is not required, but for your understanding, but for your knowledge, okay. So you should try to remember the standard number as well. Okay. You should try to remember the standard number as well. Okay. Now, so these are the 3 standards which we are targeting to close in the today's class. Okay. We'll try our best. If not, then definitely we'll move on to we'll complete that in tomorrow's class. Okay. Nothing to worry about it. Now, let's start with the property, plant and equipment. Now, before starting the property, plant and equipment, let's understand what is a property, plant and equipment. What is a property, plant and equipment? Any one of you know what is the meaning of a property, plant and equipment? Any one of you? Even if you're wrong, that's totally fine. But I want you guys to try. Tell me, what is the meaning of property, plant and equipment? Land, building and machinery. Very good, Rajat. Anyone else? Fixed assets. Okay. Anyone else? Anything? Okay. Physical substance. Very good. So basically, property, plant and equipment are, you can write here, property, plant and equipment are tangible assets, with, okay, tangible assets, and just a minute. Okay. Held for use in production or supply of goods oblique services or rental, or you can write or administrative purposes or rental to others. Okay, life is more than 12 months. Life is more than 12 months. Now, see, when I say tangible, what does it mean? Tangible means what? It has a physical substance. It has a physical substance. Agree? It has a physical substance. Do you agree, everyone? Okay, tangible means it has physical substance. Now, see what you have to understand about. See, first thing I'll tell you very frankly here. PPE means property, plant, and equipment. I'm writing PPE in short form. Okay, I hope it should not be a challenge for you guys. I'll write here PPE. Okay, now held for use. So what is important is these assets, these tangible assets. Okay, these tangible assets, basically any tangible assets which are held for use in either in the production or supply of goods or services. Can I give an example? Now, to give an example, let's suppose there is a company called Tata Power. It will have lots of electrical equipments, like the electricity generation equipments, right? Now, what is that? Or Tata Power can have solar farm as well, right? Now, that solar farm that the Tata Power has, what is it using for? It is using for production of goods, right? Generation of electricity, right? So, is it using it or is it renting to someone else? It is using it, right? Tata Power is using that. Now, let's give us some other example. Have you seen corporate office of any company? Corporate office of any company. Let's suppose Reliance, right? Reliance. So Reliance has a corporate office. Is that the asset? Because the Reliance is not using that property as a corporate, that property for either in the production or supply of goods or services. No, right? In the corporate office, either the accounting team sits or the HR team sits, right? But they're not held for production or supply of goods or services. Then how come that those are PPE? So there comes the definition of administrative purposes. Administrative purposes, right? It can be finance, it can be HR, it can be any other etc. Okay, it can be any other, right? So whenever the property is used, whenever the property, plant, and equipment are used for administrative purposes, those are also called property, plant, and equipment. Those are also called as property, plant, and equipment. Now, rental to others. If any property, plant, or equipment are held for rental to others, those are also called property, plant, and equipment. Okay, and the life of those assets should be more than 12 months. Should be more than 12 months. Okay, is it clear, the definition of PPE? Now, why I'm trying to say these and what is the implication behind that? Let's understand that. Okay, there is a company who is having machinery. Okay, it is held for production of goods. Okay, now the company has a truck, okay, which is held to supply goods to customers. Okay, there is you can say a building which is used for official purposes. Okay, now the life of the machinery is you can say 5 years. Again, the life of the truck is, let's say 8 years. The life of the building is, let's suppose 50 years. And also the company has a machinery which is held for production of goods okay, and the life of which is 8 months. Tell me, will it be capitalized or not? Okay, or give me one more example. Machinery, just a minute, held for sale, okay, life is 5 years. Okay, now tell me which all will be classified as a property, plant and equipment. Tell me, will the first one be classified as property, plant and equipment? Run through these 4 conditions and tell me. Right, so what is to be happened is just a minute, let me connect, just give me a minute please. Yeah, so when these conditions are there, so any one of these conditions, any one, you can write here any one, okay, and this is mandatory, and this, okay, so you are understanding that it should be more than 12 months, that is mandatory, right? It should be more than 12 months. And use can be, it can be, the purpose can be held for use or for administrative purpose or for rental to others, okay, any one of them, okay, that's the condition. Now can we classify it now? Okay, now first one, can you tell me, is it a property, plant and equipment or not? First one is a yes, I have received the answers. First one is a yes. Second one, I have received the answer, okay. Second one also yes, I have received. Third one also I have received yes. I'm not yet assessed, I'm just writing what I've received as an answer. Third one also I received yes. Fourth is no. Fifth is also no. Okay, anyone having different opinion other than that? No. Okay, let's assess it. See, held for production of goods or services, production of goods, okay. Now in this one condition getting satisfied. Machinery, it is a machinery, it means it is having a physical substance, agree. Now the life is 5 years, so life is also more than 12 months, so means all the 3 conditions are getting satisfied, hence it is a property, plant and equipment. Truck, truck will have physical substance, so it is tangible. Held to supply goods to customers, means held for use in the supply of goods or services, right? Life is more than 12 months, that is 8 years, hence this is also property, plant and equipment for me. Building is used for official purposes, means held for administrative purposes, right? It is a building, it means it is a tangible asset, right? Life is 50 years, that is more than 12 months, hence it is also a tangible asset for me. It is also property, plant and equipment for me. Machinery, held for production of goods, but the life is 8 months, can we say it is a property, plant and equipment? No, we cannot say this as a property, plant and equipment. This will not be a case of property, plant and equipment, okay. Now last is machinery held for sale, okay, machinery held for sale. Now what you have to understand is that this is for sale, not for use, what is important, that it should be held for use. Now here the life should be more than 12 months. Tell me, is it clear or not? Let me highlight these 2 points. Is the definition of property, plant and equipment clear to all of you now? Okay, now what's next? Okay, meaning of investment property. Now when I will explain investment property, IP means investment property. You will have a confusion now, you will definitely have a confusion now, and I want that confusion to come in your mind, okay. It is then I'll try to answer that confusion. Okay, now first I'll tell you what is the meaning of investment property. So investment property are property held for rental to other rental purposes, held for rental purposes and capital appreciation purposes. Now tell me, okay, so it says that any property, if it is held for rental purposes, means if it is held for giving on a rent to someone else, or if it is held for capital appreciation purposes, then it is a investment property and not a property, plant and equipment. Tell me, is it clear or not, or is there some confusion arising in your mind? And if there is a confusion that is arising up in your mind, what's that confusion? I want answers from you guys. Tell me, guys. See, again, I'll re-emphasize on that. Okay, I have received queries in both the cases. Rental purposes. Why? Rental to other is also a part of PPE. PPE are also used to rental to others. Very good. That's what I wanted from you guys. Now, let me explain you a few things. Okay, not tangible. Just a minute. Let me write it other way. Or let's write property, plant and equipment. Okay, property, plant and equipment. Now, just a minute. Sorry. Kartikan, you are correct to some extent, but you have to understand here one thing. Let me draw the flow chart for that. This flow chart will give you a better understanding. Just give me a minute, please. Let me draw it. Okay. Now here it will, you can write here property, and here you can write. I will request you guys to draw this chart along with me. Now again, just a minute. Self-use, held for use, rental. Now again, held for use and rental to others. Now, the meaning of property. Property means what? Now, okay. See, whenever I say property, plant and equipment, whenever I say property, plant and equipment, the property, plant and equipment can be divided into two parts. Okay, can be divided into two parts. One is property. Property means what? Land, building, or both. Okay. Another is plant and equipment. What is the meaning of plant and equipment? It can be machinery. It can be any machinery, right? Any computer equipment, laptops. These are plant and equipment. Now comes the variation. When a property is held for use, that is called as property, plant and equipment. When a plant and equipment is held for use, that is called as property, plant and equipment. When a plant and equipment is held for rental to others, it is called as property, plant and equipment. But the difference is here. If a property is given on rental to others, that is not a property, plant and equipment, but rather that is an investment property. That is an investment property now. Now what we have to do is we have to understand why. Why exactly is what we have to understand. I hope you have understood the what. I only need to explain why. Tell me yes or no. I think the confusion is clear now. I just need to give the reason for that. Okay. See, I'll repeat again. See, the property, plant and equipment that we know has two components. One is property component and one is plant and equipment component. Property can be held for use or for rental to others. Plant can also be held for use or for rental to others. If it is held for use, it is held for self-use. If you are not understanding, let's write held for self-use. Okay, like self-use means held for, say, use in the production of goods or services. Okay, now held for self-use. Let me write here self-use. Now, if it is held for self-use, then it is called as what? It is called as what? It is called as property, plant and equipment, right? It is called as property, plant and equipment. Agree? Okay. Okay. Now see one thing. Try to understand here one thing. Forget this chart. Listen to me properly now. The property, plant and equipment that we studied now. Okay. Or basically, forget property, plant and equipment also. For just understand tangible, non-current assets. Tangible, non-current assets. Non-current assets can also be of two types. One can be the property, that is land and building, and the others can be anything else, any other tangible non-current assets. Agree so far with me? Can I do this? Can I break the tangible non-current assets into two parts? Right? One is land, building, or both. Other are total rest of all. Can I do this? Yes or no? Now, what is happening? If any, either the property or the plant or the equipment, if it is held for use in the production or supply of goods or services, what is it called as? It is called as property, plant and equipment. Agree? Right? See what that's what I've done. Whether it is a property, if it is for held for self-use, it is called as property, plant and equipment. If it is plant and equipment, if it is held for self-use, it is called property, plant and equipment. I hope this is clear so far. Please confirm if this is clear so far. Okay. Now, if the plant and equipment is given on rental to others, is held for giving on rental to others, that is also called as property, plant and equipment. That is also called as property, plant and equipment. But the difference here lies here. The difference lies here. Let me highlight it. The difference is here. The difference is here. If any property is given on rental to others, if the property is given on rental to others, that is called investment property. That is called as investment property. Now tell me, okay, now going back to the definition, okay. See, property, plant and equipment was written rental to others. So this rental to others is only for plant and equipment. Why? Because the rental to others of the property is covered here. Property held for rental purposes. Tell me, is it clear or not now? Is the confusion clear? I will give you the reason why a separate standard for why basically this exception is there. I will definitely explain you the reason. But tell me, is the confusion clear or not? Everyone, please tell me. Great. Now let me answer why. See, in our class, we will focus on two things: what and why. But I will go on why. I'll go to why only if you give me conformity over what. Okay, if you have understood what is happening here it is then I will move to why. So I assume you have understood what is happening here okay. Now we have to understand why. Question: why rental of equipment is covered in PPE and rental of property is dealt separately? Is dealt separately. Why? This is a question that you have to answer. Okay. Or to put it other way, we can write here why rental of property is dealt separately. Okay. Now for that, what I can do is answer. So answer for that. See, tell me one thing. Just a minute. Tell me one thing. Rental of property and rental of equipment. Rental of property and rental of equipment. Now tell me one thing here. What is happening is, if you purchase any property, that let's suppose land, let's suppose you purchase a land, okay, and you give it on rental to others, the life is 50 years. The value of the asset will appreciate or depreciate. It will appreciate. But now think of another situation. We rent an equipment. The life of the equipment is 10 years. Will the value appreciate or depreciate? The value will depreciate, right? So what happens is for investment, for rental of property, it allows you to record the gains of fair valuation in the profit and loss account. It allows you to record, okay, this is dealt separately. This is dealt separately because this standard allows you to record gains or losses on account of capital appreciation. But now tell me, if you rent an equipment, the value depreciates, I agree, okay. Let's suppose if the value in the market, the value increases. If in market the value increases in relation to the carrying amount of the asset, okay. Let's suppose the carrying amount of the asset is 80 now, and in the market the value is 100. Tell me, okay, just tell me that you have purchased an equipment. Okay, which is for rental purposes only. The life of the equipment is 10 years. Okay, tell me, will you go back and check the price of the equipment every year? What is the actual price of the equipment in the market? Will you go back and check? Tell me yes or no. Will you go back and check? Ideally, no, we will not go back and check. Tell me honestly, all of us use cell phone, right? All of us use cell phone. We might have purchased cell phone 1 or 2 years back. After the purchase, did you at any point of time took the pain of checking what is the price of your cell phone as of now? Tell me, honestly, tell me. Did you went and check the price of your cell phone? No, right? We never check. We never check, right? Why? Because we are not bothered about it. We are not bothered about it. But now think of a situation, you have purchased shares of a company. You have purchased shares of a company. Tell me, will you go back and check the price regularly or not? Right? You will go and check the price regularly. Why? Because that's an investment. That's an investment. Same thing is happening here as well. In the case of property which is given on rental to others, if I'm not using on my own, that's an investment. That's an investment, right? And if you are doing an investment, you have to record the gains or losses, right? But if you are for an equipment, that's not an investment. Even if you are doing for rental, that's not an investment. This is not an investment. And hence the gains or losses arising out of change in prices, change in fair value, need not be recorded in SPL. Okay, though it is disclosed, though it is recognized as part of equity. Why it is done so? See, again, I'll come just a minute. Yeah, see, what is happening here is a rental of property, the gains or losses are basically the management is concerned about those gains or losses, right? And hence wants to recognize it in P&L, right? This is recognized in statement of profit and loss. Statement of profit and loss, I'll be writing it as SPL. Okay. Now, but for equipment, if there is any changes in the fair value, and the entity wants to show it to this gain or loss to the investors, but the standard prohibits to record this in SPL. So what they can do is they can recognize that as part of equity. They will not take it to P&L, but they can recognize it part of the equity, right? What will happen? In the equity will increase, your asset value will increase. Will it impact P&L? No, it will just increase the balance sheet size. But if you just calculate the net assets, it will not impact anything. Tell me, is it clear or not? Is this understanding clear now? The rental thing and the reason for that, it is clear now? Okay, fair enough. Which part, Reshma and Kartikan, can you please come back once again? Like which part you want me to repeat? Why building is included, SPL part. Okay. See, what I am trying to say here is when it is an investment, whenever you make an investment, you are concerned about the gains or losses, right? Because you feel that they are your actual gains and losses, and hence you recognize it in SPL. But when it is an equipment, and there is some changes in the fair value, let's suppose you have a mobile phone and the market value as of now, let's suppose you purchase the mobile phone at 30,000. Okay, the life was 3 years, 1 year has already passed by. The value as of now is, after depreciation, is 20,000, right? Now in the market the price of the phone is, let's suppose, 25,000. So that 5,000 is your gain. Now tell me, will you realize that gain? No. Will it make sense to recognize that gain in the P&L? No. But if the management wants to show it to the investors that, see, the value, the asset I am having is of 20, but the value of the asset in the market as of now is 25. What will the management do? Can the management recognize it in the SPL? No, they cannot. But they want to increase the value of the asset as well. How they can do so? They will increase the asset and they will increase the corresponding equity. So accounting equation is tallied, their balance sheet gets tallied, right? There is no effect on the P&L as we wanted. Your asset is also overstated as the management wanted, right? The corresponding impact went to equity. We will be discussing this concept in detail in the revaluation part. So I'm not going to that angle as of now, but yes, allow me to move now. And but because revaluation part I will be discussing, okay, so you should not worry about that. Now just tell me whether you understood the difference of rental of property and rental of equipment or not. The whole motto to explain this chart was this much only, whether you understood the difference or not. Okay. Kartikan, debit and credit impact in BS balance sheet we'll definitely discuss when we're discussing the revaluation amount. Okay, revaluation part we'll definitely discuss on that. Okay, I understand your query and it's like very logical query. Okay, so I'll explain that. No, don't worry. Now let me move further. Difference between PPE and IP. I've already explained. So I'll write here. This is point number 2. Just a minute. 3. No. Just a minute. Okay. Difference. Just allow me a moment, please. I am making you it in a format so that if you print it, it comes in a proper manner. Okay, done. Now let's discuss it further. Okay. Now, but point number 3 is done. Now let's move to further topics. Initial measurement. But before that, I want to discuss the recognition principle. Recognition principle. Point number 4. You will not find these topics covered in your book. But if you don't understand these topics, you will not be able to understand the topics which are covered in your books. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm spending this much time. Even if I have to take 3-4 classes extra, I can take it off. But I really don't want to compromise on the quality. Okay, and even I believe that you guys also are not in a hurry to finish the syllabus by just compromising on the quality. Is it fine? Great. Great. Now, recognition principle. What is the recognition principle? See, always keep in mind, whenever you study any standard, you have to be mindful of 3 things: recognition, measurement, and disclosure. Recognition, measurement, and disclosure. If you know these 3 things for any standard, you are through it. Okay. Now, see, as of now, we have just understood the difference between PPE and IP. We have not yet started the standard. It is now from the recognition principle we will start our standard. Okay. Recognition principle of PPE I will first discuss. Okay. Now from now onwards, I will start discussing only PPE. Okay. I will start discussing only PPE, and then I will move on to IP later on. Okay. So these things, okay. Now I have discussed in point number 3. It's point number 4, recognition principle. Now PPE are eligible for capitalization if and only if it satisfies both the given conditions. Now, what is first one? The first one is future. Just a minute. Economic benefits are expected. Okay. Cost can be measured reliably. Now, what is the meaning of this one? First, we'll understand the meaning and then we'll take up examples. Okay. Now, to understand the meaning of this one, see, any PPE. See, we know what is PPE now. We know what is the PPE now, which satisfies the two conditions. What is the PPE? We satisfy two conditions: held for use plus life is greater than 12 months. Agree? This is the PPE. Tell me yes or no. Right now, will we capitalize all the PPE, all the property, plant, equipment? No, we will not capitalize. We will capitalize the PPE in our books of account only if the two conditions are getting satisfied. These two conditions are getting satisfied. Okay, what are the two conditions? What are two conditions? Future economic benefits are expected from that PPE. When you purchase a PPE, whenever you purchase a PPE, tell me, you expect something out of it or not? You expect something out of it or not? Tell me. Now, to give an example, you purchase a laptop. But the laptop is not operating only. Is that an asset for you? Tell me, is it an asset for you? No, that's not an asset for you, right? Same thing. You purchased any machinery. That is not capable of being operated. Can you capitalize that? No, right? If you are not able to operate, will you get any benefit out of it? Will you get any benefit from the purchase? No, right? Now see, benefit can be direct, it can be indirect. How it can be direct? Let's suppose you are using this laptop. Okay, I am using this laptop and I am using this laptop. I am teaching you guys and I am getting income, right? I am getting income. So that's a direct benefit. Okay, that's a direct benefit. Now, how come indirect? There are multiple assets. Or let's suppose factory building. Basically, this classroom that I have, this classroom. Okay, in classroom I am using to take classes. These classes help me generate income, right? So this become indirect future economic benefits. So basically, you don't need to go into direct and indirect part. What you have to understand is any assets which will fetch me benefits, which will give me benefits in the future, are capable of being capitalization, provided you have paid a cost to acquire that asset. What does that mean? If you get any asset by way of gift, can you recognize that in your books? No, you cannot. Why? Because you have not paid any money for that, right? Let's suppose your dad gives you a laptop as a gift. Can you recognize that laptop in your balance sheet? No, you cannot, right? Because even if you will go to verify, go to recognize, what is generally that you will pass? Laptop account debit to what? Right? You don't have an amount for that, right? Because you have not paid anything. Right? So you cannot recognize that. Agree? So both these two conditions are also required to be satisfied if you are capitalizing any property, plant and equipment. Okay, so what we will do now is we'll take a few examples to conclude on the capitalization of the property, plant and equipment. Allow me a moment to open my Excel file. Please let me know once you can see my screen. Great. Now what I'll do is I'll take assets. Okay. Now, purpose, life, future economic benefits. See, future economic benefits, I'm writing FEB, cost. Whether they are PPE, Okay, whether they meet recognition principle, okay, whether they will be capitalized or not. Okay, now assets, you can write here building A, building B, laptop, okay, and you can write here machinery, and you can write here one more, 4 is there, okay, one more we can write here, car. Okay, now purpose is for self-use, is for rental to others, self-use, rental to others, car is self-use. Life is 50 years. Okay, this is life is also 50 years. Laptop, the life is, let me write one more, machinery, equipment, you can write here, okay, electrical equipment, self-use. Okay, now laptop, the life is 3 years. Machinery, the life is 5 years. The car, the life is 5 years. Electrical equipment, the life is 7 months. Future economic benefits, yes. No. Cost, you can write it as laptop, you can write it as 60,000. Machinery, you can write as 3 lakhs. This you can write as a gift. Okay, this you can write it as machinery. It is 5 lakhs. Car is at 2 lakhs. No, car is at 10 lakhs. Electrical equipment is at 45,000. Now, serial number also I'll give serial number so that it will be easy for you to recognize. Okay, now tell me, just I want whether it is a PPE or not, all of it. For building A, is it a PPE? Yes or no? Is it a PPE? So for PPE, what you will check? Tell me. For PPE, where to conclude whether it is a PPE or not, what will you check? Awaiting a responses. For concluding whether it is a PPE or not, what will you check? Purpose plus life. Very good. Purpose plus life. Very good. Self-use. Okay. Now, so for the building A, it is purpose is self-use and life is more than 12 months. So hence it is a property, plant and equipment. Tell me for building B. Building B. Is it a property, plant, equipment? Building B. Very good, Anushya. All of you, how come you are telling that this is a property, plant, equipment? See the purpose. The purpose is rental to others. Building is a property. Property on rental is an investment property. Right? So it's not a property, plant, equipment. It's an investment property. Very good, Akshit. Now laptop. Tell me, is it a property, plant, equipment? Yes or no? Laptop. Why no? Why no? Why no, Sunal? I am talking about PPE. In the PPE, we don't see cost. In the PPE, we see what? Purpose plus life. Right? I'm talking whether it is a PPE or not. I'm not telling whether we will recognize it or not. Right? It is a PPE. Machinery, tell me. Machinery. Is it a PPE? But it is for rental to others. Is it a PPE? Or it is an investment property? PPE. Very good. It's a PPE. Now, car for self-use. Is it a PPE? Very good, Garima. It is a PPE. Now, electrical equipment. Tell me, is it a PPE? No. Why? Because life is less than 12 months, right? Not a PPE. Okay. Now, tell me, is the recognition principle getting satisfied or not? So for recognition principle, what do we see? Let me do one thing. I'll write here A. Not like this. Yeah. I'll write here A. I'll write here B. I'll write here C. I'll write here C. I'll write here D. For property, plant, equipment, you have to see A plus B. For recognition principle, you have to see C plus D. Tell me. Now, first number is recognition principle is getting satisfied or not? Tell me. Yes, right? Recognition principle is getting satisfied. It is a PPE. Recognition principle is getting satisfied. It should be, whether it should be capitalized? Yes, it should be capitalized. So now I have a query from Rajat. If the building is used for rental purposes, it's IP. But if machinery is for rental purposes, it is PPE. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say, Rajat. You have understood it correctly. Okay. Now building B, rental to others, it is a IP. So we'll not discuss it now because we'll not discuss it now. NA, right? Leave it off. Laptop, it is a PPE. Tell me whether the recognition principle is getting satisfied, yes or no? No. Why? Because the asset is a gifted asset. The cost cannot be measured reliably, right? So recognition principle is not getting satisfied here. No. Can this be capitalized? No. Machinery. Tell me, is the recognition principle getting satisfied? Yes, right? Future economic benefits are there. Cost can be measured reliably, and hence this is yes, and hence yes, this is also yes. Now car. Tell me. No. Why? Because no future economic benefits. There are no benefits, right? So recognition principle, it is a no, and hence the asset cannot also be capitalized. Electrical equipment, it is not a PPE only, so no point discussing this one. Now tell me, is this clear or not? So what I'll do here, I'll write here E equals to F, and here we'll write here E and F, E plus F. I hope things are clear now. The whatever we have studied so far is clear now to all of you. Just let me copy this chart here so that when you refer these notes, you will have the chart ready in front of you. Okay. Yeah. Just is this chart visible to you, or you want me to increase the size of the chart? Is it visible clearly to you, or you want me to increase it, the font size? I think it should be clear now. Perfect. It should be. Yeah, it's clear now. Better. That's better now. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll take a small break of 15 minutes now. Okay. And after that, we'll resume our classes. Okay. So time now is 8:33. We'll meet at 8:48. Okay. Well, let's meet at 8:48. I hope everyone is back from break. Great. Let's start it. Initial measurement of PPE. We are talking about PPE. We'll target to close PPE today, and in the next class we can discuss definitely about IP. It will not take much time to discuss about IP, so we'll try to close PPE today. Now, in PPE, initial measurement. What is the meaning of initial measurement? How to see when we say that the PPE, okay, when we say that the PPE should be capitalized, okay, PPE should be capitalized, okay, if the recognition principle is met, okay, but the question arises, what is the question that arises? At what price? Question that arises is, the question that arises is at what amount? At what amount? That's the question. How to answer that? See, the amount, that is the cost, okay, the cost that has to be measured, okay, is the cost is equals to the purchase price of the asset, plus any non-refundable taxes minus any discounts or rebates plus any directly attributable costs incurred to bring the asset in the location or condition intended by management. Okay. Now see what is there. Location and condition. Let me highlight these two. Okay. Now see, when you say what is the cost of any PPE, what is the cost? That's the purchase price of it, right? At the price at which you purchased it. If you paid any taxes which is not refundable, okay, then that non-refundable taxes. Okay, now let's believe you purchase a mobile phone, and in the mobile phone, let's suppose the mobile phone amount included the GST that you have paid on that. Okay, will that be refundable to you? No, it will not be refundable, right? But yes, if the corporate purchases it, it might be refundable to them also. Okay, so, but they have to assess whether the taxes they are paying on the purchase is refundable or not refundable. If it is refundable, then that's not a part of the cost. If it's not refundable, then it's a part of the cost, right? To give an example, let's suppose the company paid for purchasing mobile phone amount of rupees 30,000, okay, and that includes a GST of rupees 4,000. The company will get a refund of GST of 4,000. What is the cost? Company has paid 30,000, it will get refund of 4,000, so it becomes 26,000. But now let's see another situation. Company has paid 30,000, but it will not get a refund of any amount. Okay, so that 30,000 fully becomes the cost of the asset. Is it clear or not about taxes? Right? Any discount, if you receive any discount from the manufacturer, that is also a part of the cost, right? You have to reduce that from the cost. Now, the point that you have to understand here is any discount, directly attributable costs incurred to bring the asset in the location or condition intended by the management. Now tell me, I'll give you example. I'll give you examples. Okay. Example. Purchased machinery. Purchased a machinery for $10,000 and incurred an amount of $200 to bring the asset or bring the machinery to customers' premises. Tell me, what should be the amount of machinery now? 10,000 or 10,200? It should be 10,200. Why? Because this amount of $200 is required to be incurred to bring the asset in the location intended by the management. Okay, so amount should be $10,200. Now second, purchased a machinery for $10,000. Let me copy this one as it is. Okay, and paid $150. Okay, just a minute. Paid $150 to install the machine. Now tell me, what is the amount that should be capitalized? 10,000, 10,200 or 10,350? Why? Because this amount is 150 is incurred to bring the asset in the location or condition. Tell me, location or condition? Condition, right? So without which we cannot use the asset, right? So you can write here condition, right? You can write here condition, and here you can write 200. You can write here location. Location. Right? Location and condition. So amount that has to be capitalized is $10,350. Tell me, is this clear or not? Initial measurement of PPE. Is it clear? Tell me. Now, simple stuff, but yes, you have to understand it. Okay. Now, fifth point is subsequent measurement. Subsequent measurement. Okay. Yeah. Subsequent measurement of PPE. Fifth point. Subsequent measurement. See, subsequently, the PPE can be measured at using two models, model number 1 and model number 2. Model number 1 is cost model. Model number 2 is revaluation model. Okay. Now what happens in cost model? What happens in cost model? So what you have to record is the cost initially recorded minus any accumulated depreciation. You know what is the meaning of depreciation, I believe. You know what the meaning of accumulated depreciation, I believe. Right. So this is the cost model, which you already know, I believe. Okay. Now comes a revaluation model. Okay. So in revaluation model also, we record the asset at fair value. We record the asset at fair value on the date of valuation, minus any accumulated depreciation. Okay. Subsequent to depreciation, subsequent to revaluation. We'll take up an example definitely, so don't worry about it. Okay. Now, subsequent to revaluation, that is what is called as revaluation model. Now, what we'll do, we'll take up an example for both. Okay, let me draft an example now. After that, we'll take up an example for both and understand both the models. Okay, example: A Limited purchased a machinery, for $10,000 for $10,000. Okay, life is 5 years. Life is 5 years. Okay. Now, case A, machinery is on cost model. Case B, machinery is on revaluation model. Okay. Now, fair value you have to give. Fair value. Okay, fair value I will give when I'm solving the answer. Okay, so I have to okay, let me just see. Fair value at year end 1 is 9,000. Year end 2 is 7,000. Or year end 2, let's not. Okay, revaluation model entity applies does revaluation, okay, every 2 years. Okay, now so let's write here year end 2 and year end 4. It should be just a minute. Let me calculate the value. Calculator. $2,000. $2,000. $9,000. Okay. Now that's what. Let's solve this question now. Let's solve this question. Let me highlight the example done. Okay, now we'll go to Excel file and we'll solve our question there. Okay, I'm removing this now. Let us prepare asset account. Okay, let us prepare asset account. Asset. So what is required? Date, particulars, amount. In the exam, you don't need to show this, but yes, for your sake of for your understanding purpose, I'm showing it. Okay, so that it will give you a better clarity. Now, just a minute. Okay, date. Let me write here on 1 January 2021. Okay, 1 January 2021. Okay, so it will be to bank, right? 10,000. Now, date 31st December 2021 by depreciation. Amount is what? It should be by 5 ideally, working on a straight line basis. Okay, and the same date by balance carried down. That figure comes to how much? 10,000 minus 2,000 is 8,000. Right? Now this is over. Now next year. 1 January 2022. Okay, to balance brought down, right? How much? 8,000, right? And now 31st December 2022, right? Again, you have to write the same things. By depreciation again 2,000, right? The balance will again be the same, right? 6,000. See, okay, now again, coming back to the next year, 1 January 2023. Okay. Now here it should be become this one 6,000. Now it will be 31st December 2023. Okay, the nomenclature will be the same. Now the depreciation amount will be the same. Okay, this will be this minus this. Are you following up with me on this? I believe you don't have any queries on this one. 1 January 2024. I'm just showing you the flow for after making it for all the 4 years, and how revaluation model is different from cost model. That also I will show. To balance B by D, it is 6,000. It is 4,000 now balance, right? Now 31st December 2024. Okay, by nomenclature will be the same. It should be 2,000. The balance should be this minus this, right? And the last year is 1 January 2025. Okay, this one. Okay, it is the balance is 2,000. Okay. Now 31st December 2025. Okay, the nomenclature will be the same. So it is depreciation is also 2, balance is nil, right? The balance is nil now. Tell me, is this clear or not, everyone? I believe you don't have any challenge in this one now. Okay, clear to all? Okay, yeah. Now let us make under revaluation model as well. Okay, I'll just copy this thing and I'll paste right below. Under revaluation model, how it work? Under revaluation model. Okay, now to bank 10,000, it will be there. Okay, depreciation 2,000, it will be there. Okay, balance C by D 8,000 will be there. Okay, okay, that's fine. Year end 2. Now okay, this is there. Okay, now the balance C by D is coming as 6,000, but the fair value here is how much? 9,000, right? So what will you do here? You will pass an additional entry stating by revaluation reserve, which is an equity component, revaluation reserve, which will be how much? 9,000 minus 6,000, that is 3,000, right? This is a change, right? Now, so balance, sorry, it will be this here. Sorry, my mistake. 31st December 2022. Sorry, my mistake. It will be 2 revaluation reserve 3,000, right? Yeah. Now, can you find out the balance now? So balance will be how much? This plus this minus this, right? 9,000. Now let's find out the journal entry for this. What should be the journal entry for this one? See, with revaluation, what are you doing? You are increasing the value of the asset, right? So asset account should be debited. Asset account should be debited. Now, and you are creating a corresponding reserve, right? Reserve is also increasing. When reserve increases, we credit it, right? So you write revaluation reserve. Machinery account debit to equity. You cannot write directly equity. You have to write revaluation reserve and transfer it to equity. Okay, the amount will be 3,000. 3,000. Is it clear? The journal entry. Now, what's next? In the next year. Now, in the next year, the balance becomes 9,000. And how many years are remaining? 3 years, right? So depreciation will be 2000 or something else. Depreciation will be 9000 divided by 3. You're understanding what we are discussing? We first understood the treatment of revaluation reserve, how to calculate a revaluation reserve. Then we are understanding if there is a revaluation, how to calculate the further depreciation on that. You're understanding how to calculate the depreciation on that, right? Now, okay, the balance C by D is 6000 now. Second year it is coming to 6000, and the depreciation will again be 3000, right? And the balance C by D will be again 3000. Now what's next? Year end 4, right? Year end 4. Year end 4, again we have to do revaluation, right? See what is the fair value at the year end 4. Fair value at year end 4 is 2000. Okay, year end 4. Now the fair value is coming as 3000. Tell me, what will you do? The fair value is coming as 3000. You have to decrease the value, right? You have to decrease the value. So what will you do? 31 December 2024 by revaluation reserve equity, right? You will adjust it from equity first. How much? 1000, right? So how much balance does it become? 6000 minus 3000 minus 1000, that comes to 2000, right? So again, that's an equity treatment. Revaluation account debit to machinery account. Very good. So this is one of the concept. Let me highlight it. Let me highlight this one also here. Okay. Now, again, if that is happening, how should we charge depreciation for that? How should we charge depreciation for that? Now the balance will become 2000. 2000 should be depreciated fully. Tell me, is it clear or not? Tell me, is it clear or not? Okay. Will we give the impact of this in this depreciation? No. Why? Because this is happening at the year end, right? So whole year will depreciate using 6000. After depreciation, will reduce the value. Is it clear? So changes in fair value will have impact on the subsequent depreciation. It will not impact the past depreciation. Is it clear now? The changes in fair value will impact the subsequent depreciation and not the past depreciation. I hope revaluation model is clear to you. How to calculate the fair value? The fair value will be given in the question and you don't need to calculate the fair value. Fair value is an exercise done by the experts and not by us as an ACCA. Okay, though we have a standard on fair value which will guide us on how to assess the fair value. It will again not tell you how to calculate the fair value. Okay, it will give you guidance, but that guidance is not applicable to us. Just a minute. Just give me a minute. Copy it down. Machinery. Okay. Case B. Let me copy case B. Tell me, did you understand the concept of revaluation? Did you understand the concept of revaluation, everyone? Great. Now what's next? What's next? Depreciation and revaluation. I assume that you have understood this concept also, depreciation and revaluation of PP. We have discussed this concept also. How will you do? I'll just summarize it here. This is topic number 6. This is topic number 6. Depreciation and revaluation of PP. Okay. post, you can write subsequent to revaluation. Subsequent to revaluation, depreciation will be what? Depreciation is equals to okay, fair value on date of revaluation, divided by remaining life of asset on date of revaluation. Right? Let me write one more thing here. The fair valuation will change the subsequent depreciation, and not the past depreciation. I assume it is clear to all of you. And because I have already explained this concept, tell me, is it clear, all of you, please? Okay. Now, there is one more concept of reversal of this revaluation loss. That though I have explained, this is the reversal. Okay. See, this is the reversal. Okay. You can write here. This is the reversal, and this is the creation of impairment. Okay. Revaluation. This is the creation, and this is the reversal. Now comes the last concept of complex assets, or this is also called as component accounting. What is the meaning of this one? Anyone, can you tell me? You have studied this component accounting as part of your, I think, financial accounting paper, and in your class 11 and class 12 also, when you're studying depreciation, you have studied this component accounting. Can anyone, if you recall that, and tell me what is the meaning of component accounting? Though I will explain it, but yes, I want you to try first. Whatever you can recall of, even if you're wrong, that's okay, fine. Tell me, guys, waiting your responses. Cannot recall? Okay, no issues. I'll say. I'll explain. See what happens. Let's suppose there. I'll just take the help of an example and then explain. Okay. Example. Airbus. Okay. Costs around dollar 500 or dollar 100 crores. Okay, dollar 100 crores. Okay. Now in that Airbus, okay, Airbus, you know, understood, flights, the flights which you used for traveling purposes. One Airbus costs around 100 crores. Okay. The life of Airbus is generally, or you can write life of Airbus is 20 years. Okay. The engine of the Airbus costs dollar 20 crores, not 20, you can write here 30 crores, dollar 30 crores. Okay. And life of Airbus, life of engine is you can say 5 years. Life of engine is 5 years. Okay. Calculate depreciation for year 1. Can you please calculate depreciation for year 1? Just apply your logic. Forget what is the complexity or component accounting. Forget that. Apply your logic and tell me what should be the depreciation. can calculate this, you know what is the accounting treatment for complex accounting, complex assets or component accounting. Depreciation is 11. Okay, how come 11? Okay, 80 by 20 is 80 divided by 20 is 4. Okay, and 30 divided by 5 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. How come you are getting 11, 9.5, 10? Can any one of you tell me your calculation? Show me your calculation. How exactly you are getting 9.5 or 11 or 10? 70 divided by 20 is 3.5. Okay, 70 divided by 20 is 3.5. Very good. What else? Plus 30 divided by 5 is 6. 6 plus 3.5 is 9.5. Very good, Assis. Very good, Assis. The persons who are calculating 11, they are calculating on the basis of how, let me tell you. They are calculating as depreciation is equals to just a minute. Okay, 100 divided by 20 plus, okay, plus 30 divided by 5. 30 divided by 5. So they are calculating as 11, right? Another way, who are calculating as what? 9.5. Depreciation is equals to 100 minus 30, okay, divided by 20 years plus 30 divided by 5 years is called as 9.5. Okay, any other answer? 100 by 20 is 5, okay, and 30 by 5 is 6. Kartikan. Okay, now Kartikan, just understand one thing. Okay, Kartikan and others who have answered 11 crores as the answer, just try to understand here one thing. Airbus cost 100 crores. Will the Airbus that will come will be without engine, or it will be with the engine? Tell me. If anyone purchases any car, the car will come along with the engine, or it will come excluding the engine? Tell me. Engine will be part of the car or the excluding the car? Tell me, Kartikan. Including the engine, right? So this 100 crores is including the engine, including the cost of the engine, right? Right now, so what is happening? The cost, Airbus cost 100 crores, and the life of the Airbus is 20 years. But in that 100 crores, there is an engine which is cost around 30 crores, and the life is only 5 years. Means there is a portion of asset. Okay. So if I have to draw it like this, if I have to explain it like this, I will do it like this. Okay. Just a minute. This is an Airbus which cost me 100 crores. Okay. So I can break this Airbus into two parts. One is engine. Other is rest of the components, Okay. Now engine is worth 30 crores. And rest of the components worth is 70 crores. The life of the Airbus is 20 years. The life of the engine is 5 years. What is the depreciation? 30 divided by 5 is 6, is $6, and 70 divided by 20 is $3.5. Total is 6 plus 3.5 is 9.5 crores. Tell me, is it clear or not? Kartikan and others, tell me, is it clear or not? You have understood the meaning of complex accounting? Okay. Now, what we'll do, we'll go to our BPP study text. and we'll try to solve few of the activity solutions and the illustrations. Okay, just allow me to open the book. Can you see the book? Can you see the book in front of you? Great. Let's solve these questions. So you have 5 minutes time to solve illustration number 1 now. Please solve illustration number 1. Please solve illustration number 1. You have 5 minutes time. So what is required? The time now is 9:23. You have time till 9:28. Okay, we'll be discussing 2-3 questions, and the rest I'll give you as an assignment. Is it done, guys? It's an easy question. Is it done? Asset debit 70K. Okay. And what's next? Credit. Revaluation reserve credit 70K. Okay. See, try to understand here one thing. Okay. Though there is a concept which I have not yet explained in this question. Okay. Which I'll be explaining in the next class. But still, let me just explain it through the help of this question. Okay. Let me copy this question and come here. Okay. BPP illustration 1. Just a minute. sorry, sir. See, read the question. Binky has a year end of 30th June 20x6. On 1st July 20x5, Binky had a land with a carrying amount of $130,000 in its financial statements. On 1st July 20x3, a decline in the land values led the company to reduce the carrying amount from 150 to 130. Okay. Now, is the land depreciated? No, there is no depreciation in the land, right? So what is happening? What does this statement mean? On you can say analysis. On 1st July 20x3, okay, on 1st July 20x3, the company recorded a revaluation loss of $20,000. Revaluation loss of $20,000, right? Now, though I have not explained this topic, but yes, revaluation loss, first time revaluation loss, first time revaluation loss goes where? It goes to SPL. Why first time revaluation loss goes to SPL? Because we cannot create negative equity, right? We cannot create negative equity. Agree? So if it's a gain, we can create positive equity, but if it's a loss, we cannot create negative equity. Now, why I'm telling first time only? But because if it's subsequent, if it's subsequent, in the prior we had gain, so we would have recognized an equity. So and subsequent we are having loss, so we'll adjust this loss with that equity, right? So that's what is. So first time revaluation loss will always be transferred to SPL. Okay. Now, okay, on 1st July 20x5, on 1st July 20x5, okay, there is a revaluation gain of dollar. How much? Tell me. 130 to 200,000. It means 70,000, right? 70,000. But now tell me, are we required to transfer the loss to SPL? No. Are we transferred to require the gain in the SPL? No. We are required to transfer in the revaluation reserve. But 20,000 loss we have transferred in the P&L, right? In the P&L. So don't you think we should first reverse it from there? So what we'll do, this revaluation gain of 70,000, $20,000 should be transferred to SPL, and the balance should be transferred to revaluation reserve, that is equity. Now just assess it if you are correct or wrong. Now just a minute. If this loss of revaluation, this $20,000 would not have been transferred to P&L, what would have happened? The value would have remained at 150. The value of the asset would have remained at 150, right? Right? And now the value is $200,000, right? So what is the actual increase? The actual increase 50,000, right? What are we reporting in revaluation reserve? We are reporting only how much the balance is. The balance, that is $50,000 should be transferred to revaluation reserve, that is equity, right? That's what we are transferring to reserve. Tell me, is it clear or not? Though there is a concept which I have not yet explained to you guys, but yes, I am satisfied with the answer that you gave on the basis of the discussion or the understanding that I have given you. Okay, tell me, is it clear or not? Okay, so what we'll do, I will not keep the class longer today. I'll wrap up it here itself, but I will just discuss the agenda of tomorrow's class with you, and I'll give you assignment. Your assignment will be, okay, you will have to, first thing, I will share the notes now itself. Revise these notes. Don't revise BPP book as of now. Revise these notes. Okay. Second, okay, solve, which is a example number, illustration number 2. Illustration number 2 of your BPP workbook. Okay, and one more I can give, I believe. Just a minute. No, that's all I'll give. I'll not give much now. Okay, that's all for today. Okay, what will be this is your assignment. Now what I'll be covering in the next class. Okay, I will be covering first treatment of revaluation reserve. I'll be covering transfer of revaluation surplus. Just a minute, I have received. We didn't receive BPU, so can you share the lesson note 2 with the notes? I don't have the. Okay, no issues. What I'll do, I'll share it. Okay, or rather I'll copy it here itself now itself, so that in the notes only you will have it, so you can solve it. Okay, don't worry about that. Just a minute. Activity 2 it is, not activity 2. I think after that it is complex effects. Yeah, this is the illustration 3, not 2, sorry. Okay, let me copy it. Okay, or what I'll do, I'll just send you a snapshot of it. Okay, in the group itself, I'll send you a snapshot of it. Just let me write what exactly is my target for today. Tomorrow, transfer of revaluation surplus. Okay. Now, third is I will start investment property, or I have to discuss overalls and replacements. And I'll start investment property and close it in a close investment property as well. Tomorrow's class will be a little longer, so I'll close investment property also tomorrow. Okay, and I'll try to start borrowing cost, which will not take much time, and we will finish that as well in the next class. Okay, is that clear? Anyone having any doubt so far, whatever we have studied today? I'll share the notes, I'll share the illustration which I want you to solve. Okay, so no worries in that. Okay, that's all for the day. Thank you guys. Thank you all of you.